बड़ा हादसा हो गया था and she got thyroid cancer and she had to go in for a major surgery while she was in the first year of her college. And in spite of all these challenges, she still graduated with top honors from her university. And because she was amongst the top 3 students in her college, in her university, she got a scholarship to come to United States for her higher studies. And this is how we met. अपनी बात बताऊं मैं तो I was born and brought up in Delhi and I went to DPS Puram. और स्कूल में जब मैं था तो I was good student in studies. I got an NTSC scholarship and then I took the IIT joint entrance examination where I managed to get a top 100 rank. So I went to IIT Delhi for a bachelor's in computer science and engineering. And after finishing my BTech from there, I also got a scholarship and I went to the US for higher studies. And जिस यूनिवर्सिटी में मैं पढ़ रहा था वहाँ पर तानिया भी थी. We were at the same time in the same department, pursuing the same degree, doing the same courses. And in fact, we were the only 2 students who got a very prestigious selective internship with Hewlett Packard. So by the time we graduated, I had already proposed to her for marriage and we had decided that we are going to get married. So when we were graduating at that time, there was a tech startup boom in the US. And after graduation, हम दोनों ने decide किया कि हम लोग जो है conventional high paying jobs in big companies. Instead of that, we will also work for startups. So Tanya took up a job in a tech startup in Albany as a systems engineer. And I joined a small startup team of about 10 to 15 guys working on some cool stuff based out of Dallas, Texas. So we were living separately. So Tanya got exposed to the amway business first, and it was through one of her co-workers who was a Chinese Malaysian. She actually walked into a home meeting with them where an amway sales plan was being showcased, and she was just waiting with her friends to get a ride back home while they were attending that meeting. उनके जो friends थे वो meeting में बैठे हुए थे और तानिया सिर्फ उनका इंतजार कर रही थी कि वो meeting से हटे और मुझे घर छोड़े. She was actually not even invited to the meeting. So she was sitting in that home meeting, kind of disinterested, sometimes listening to what is happening, what is being talked about, sometimes not listening, not listening. But in the end, she really liked the people, who were in that house, and the snacks they were serving. So at the end of the meeting, she decided that she's going to come back again to the next week's home meeting there. So she invited herself back, And the next time when she went there, तो थोड़ा सा उनको presentation ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ में आया. She also took the follow-up material that they were giving. And घर आने के बाद she analyzed the whole sales plan calculations, and she even wrote down a computer simulation program, and decided that उसकी calculations बहुत ज़बरदस्त हैं because of the compounding of effort and volume and everything. She could see how that business can grow over time. As you all know, Einstein called compounding as the 8th wonder of the world. So she decided that she's going to pursue this business. Then Tanya invited me to come and look at the Amway sales plan also. But at that point of time, I was heavily invested in my career. मैं जिस startup में काम कर रहा था, वहाँ पर we were already working on some really important stuff, and उस वक्त Forbes magazine in the US had picked up our company as one of the top coolest companies to work for in the US, and we were featured in the Forbes magazine. So हमारा जो IPO था, it was imminent, वो होने ही वाला था. So my hands were full. But I still went to see the sales plan, and for that she had asked our upline executive diamond Pat Kaufman to come and meet me. So our upline mentors, Pat Kaufman, came in his white convertible Lexus, looking very smart and very nice, and he was, I could hit off with him very easily. मैं बहुत जल्दी उनसे घुल मिल गया और उन्होंने सेल्स प्लान मुझे दिखाया और मैं उनसे ज़्यादा इम्प्रेस्ड हुआ एंड उनके लाइफस्टाइल से बहुत इम्प्रेस्ड हुआ. बट एट द सेम टाइम मैंने सोचा कि ये बिजनेस अभी मेरे लिए नहीं है. सो आई टोल्ड तानिया कि आई इंकरेज तानिया कि आप आगे बढ़िए, एंड आई डिसाइडेड टू होल्ड ऑफ फॉर अ व्हाइल. So Tanya took this business very seriously, being good in studies and she is very diligent student. So उन्होंने इस business को बिल्कुल exactly follow किया, एक चीज, she decided to do exactly what is supposed to be done in this business, and she did it like a proper business. She attended all the products trainings. She made very good notes बनाते थे. She was just following instructions very nicely. And I think in the beginning what happened was that our upline executive diamond Pat Kaufman, he came and did 2 home meetings for Tanya. And उन home meetings पे लोग आए लेकिन किसी ने business startup नहीं किया. Nobody started to join the business in our network. So Tanya was a little bit disappointed near Denver. So she decided that she's going to attend that function. और वहाँ उस function को attend करने के बाद she realized 2 important things. कि पहली बात तो अगर आपके upline, if your upline is all the time making the business presentations for you, तो आप अपने business में नहीं, आप उनके business में हैं अभी. But if you are showcasing your business, you are doing your own business presentation, that means you are in your own business. And secondly, she realized that she has to grow herself in the business, and she started really working with a new seriousness, with a new focus, with a new direction. उसके बाद and silver जाने के कुछ महीनों बाद, probably about 8 months later, she was a qualified platinum. और platinum बन जाने के कुछ ही दिनों बाद, soon after she qualified platinum, she left her job and moved to Dallas with me. And this is how we started living together and building the business together. So we were both building our business, and our business was growing in the US. And my company that I was working for had a big IPO on NASDAQ. It was very successful, और वो company भी बहुत बड़ी हो गई थी. Now it had over 1,000 employees. So somehow मैं भी कुछ और करने की सोच रहा था. उस वक्त I was also looking for something else to do. And around that time, we were also getting a lot of feelers from the company that they're going to be launching the business in India. Indian market is going to be opening up very soon. तो इत्तेफाक से हुआ क्या? Fortunately for me, what happened was that there was a pre-launch meeting organized by amway India before launching the market. और उसमें उन्होंने लगभग 15 या 20 बड़े pins को बुलाया था globally, who were heading various big lines of sponsorships. They had called them for a meeting in India, in New Delhi, in the Park Royal Hotel. And my upline double diamond, Lou Regan, was invited there. So उन्होंने क्या किया कि instead of going by himself, he asked me to go there, because उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि सुमीत, you understand the market and you very much understand the business angle, so you go there instead of me. और उस मीटिंग में जो आप को लगता है आप मुझे बताइएगा वापस आके. So I went to that meeting. And at that time, in that meeting, they basically gave a preview of how they're going to launch the Indian market and what is the potential of the Indian market. Even उस मीटिंग में उन्होंने एक बहुत ही senior CII, Confederation of Indian Industries के official को बुलाया था to give a pitch to all of us about how the Indian market is opening up and what's the potential of the Indian market. That really caught my attention. उसके बाद हम दोनों ने we made a decision very fast to move to India and build our Amway business. And when we announced the decision to everybody in our circle was very surprised by this decision of ours. उन्होंने बोला कि यार आप तो इतना अच्छा कर रहे हो, we were doing so well in the US by all standards, and why are you leaving the US to go back to India, and that too for Amway? But we had made up our mind, this is what we want to do. There was a sense of adventure. We knew how big the Indian market is going to be, and we definitely wanted to go ahead and make our dreams come true. तो हम लोग इंडियन मार्केट वापस इंडिया में वापस आ गए. Now after we came back to India, since most of my friends and colleagues had already moved to the US, India में तो कोई था ही नहीं, and most of my family had also not shown much of interest in my relatives and everybody in the Amway business. So हम लोगों को क्या था कि we had to start learning how to contact strangers and build a relationship with them in order to start building our community, our network over here. We also learned how to take referrals from people who were coming into our business or who were showing interest in our business, and start building relationships with the people they were referring to us, so that we could build a depth and expand our business fast. So the way our business was expanding all over the country, we were taking the referrals and we were traveling all over the country. We were traveling most of the time, and we were doing a home meetings in different parts of the country, cities. We were doing various small community meetings. We were doing town hall type of meetings, taking question and answers from prospective new business owners. और शुरू में क्या था कि all the initial orientation programs, product training, सब कुछ हम ही लोग conduct करते थे. Everything was done by us, And since the company's delivery system was also not set up properly, and there was no education being provided about the product, so the whole load was basically falling upon us, And we would do everything by ourselves, whatever was required. And उस वक्त हमारा जो US का experience था, our US business building experience actually came in very handy, and all that experience and knowledge helped us a lot in growing our business in India. So as our network started growing, we also started investing a lot of time and resources and money in growing ourselves to become capable to leading people, because a leader must lead by example. Attending a single meeting that we qualified to attend. We were also all the time seeking out our mentors in the US to find their invaluable time and advice कि अब क्या करें, कैसे करें. And we were making all the time expensive phone calls to them, and even we used to travel back to the United States just to spend more time with them and pick their brains. We also tried not to do for our leaders in India. हम लोग अपने Indian leaders को बहुत ज़्यादा spoon feed नहीं करते थे. We used to try to only do things for them which we knew that they are not good at right now. But जो भी वो खुद अपने आप कर सकते थे, हमने वो उनके लिए कभी नहीं किया. We always tried to make them as independent and as profitable very quickly as possible. And कभी उनको ओवर प्रोटेक्ट नहीं करते थे हम लोग. अगर उनको नेगेटिव मिलता था तो we used to try to make them strong enough to be able to handle the negative. We were more like a friend and coach for them, And as we started developing leaders in our teams, we also kept on expanding our personal team. मुझे याद है कि we were maintaining Ruby side volume most of the time, और जैसे जैसे हमारी legs break होती गई, हमारा Ruby volume side पे बहुत महीनों तक maintain रहता था. And this allowed us to qualify Emerald and all the way to Executive Diamonds. Well, Amway business has satisfied our dreams in a big way. It has allowed us to be free, live a life of choices. We have homes in 3 countries today, United States, India, and Ukraine. We have traveled all over the world to so many countries, to exotic locations. We have one of the largest friendship networks across the globe. So I would say that, we have been able to live a very, very beautiful, very, very nice life जिसके बारे में हम कभी सोच भी नहीं सकते थे had we been in jobs. So the Indian market has the potential to be a $1 billion, 7,500 crore rupee market in the next few years, I believe. And I think कि इसका जो ultimate potential है, that is somewhere around 20,000 crores. And why do I say that? Because आज की तारीख में social commerce जो है, peer-to-peer selling है, it's booming in India, Recently I read a survey that 60% consumers have most recently been contacted by a social seller. 60% consumers ऐसे हैं जिससे किसी न किसी social seller ने भी contact किया था recently in a survey I did. और उनमें से 1/3 actually bought a product from the social seller. And recently ये पता लगा था कि 85% of people who are buying through social selling or peer-to-peer selling जो हमारे direct selling में होता है, 85% of them are buying repeat purchases. And that is happening because they have a strong relationship with the person who recommended the product. And they say that relationship motivated them to buy the product repeatedly. Not because जिसने उनको product दिया था, that social seller had superior technical skills to explain the product or product knowledge or anything like that. It was a relationship. तो मुझे क्या लगता है कि the key in social selling or peer-to-peer selling is that building of trust. That cultivating of relationship, जो relationship बनाते हैं हम सामने वाले के साथ, और इस बिजनेस में हमारा हॉलमार्क यही है, we build relationship, we gain the trust, हमारे बिजनेस में Amway में integrity, trust, these are the hallmarks, and we are always very passionate about the products and the lifestyle that we promote. So that is, I think, the hallmark, and that is the reason why we feel that we are going to be a 7,500 crore rupee market. मेरा तो यही एडवाइस है सब यंग लोगों को कि सक्सेस इन अ chosen profession or a career does not equate to happiness. I can tell you from my own experience, When we live a purposeful life which is aligned with our values, और हम लोग जो है we find purpose and meaning in what we are doing, that is what gives us true happiness. So you build the Amway business, you see the world, you make friends all over the world, you build a large community build around your passions. और मुझे लगता है कि आप इस business में जी सकते हैं. The kind of lifestyle of choices that you can lead in this business that you can't get in any other profession.